I'm Sintra, and this is SintraArt. Learning Dust to Onyx Tarot Deck. Starting with the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana are milestones in our life journey, and the Minor Arcana are the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. These elements create events in our life. So let's get started. Your first message is temperance. Moderation, patience, tolerance, adaptability. The cycle of life and death is a never-ending, oscillating spiral. Once we take our last breath, we descend into the vast ocean of the subconscious or underworld. Here, we are challenged with finding a new sense of balance and centeredness. Life is made up of polarities: light, dark, black, white, big, small, masculine, feminine. And temperance is the middle range that connects each end. The life we once knew was all an illusion, and it is here that we learn that life is so much bigger than our individual concerns. Temperance, the art, is like the alchemist who is wise and sensitive to the forces of life. They take just the right mix of ingredients to turn something ordinary into extraordinary. They also know how to dissolve or break down components to recombine them into new, precious elements. Temperance bridges all gaps and brings our souls into alignment. Over their heart centers sits a pair of internal chalices where the waters flow back and forth in constant rotation. The larger connected chain slides back and forth between the two like a mechanical force, keeping the souls at an equilibrium. The center point where the infinity intersect creates the never-ending flow of energy. Before we are able to navigate this deeper realm, we must first go through this period of integration. Temperance calls into question the energies that we expend and asks how it can be better used. We must find a balance between all the forces in life that pulls us in an array of directions. Take time to meditate on where you can bring more moderation, discipline, and patience. Work to bring the relationships around you into a better sense of harmony and release those that negatively affects your groundingness. Use this energy to evaluate the synchronicities between the heart and the mind. We can always return to the center to find the peace and clarity that we need. At this center, life flows through us and around us freely, so we don't find ourselves caught in a riptide, swimming against the currents. Life will fall into place, and from there, we can find inner balance and harmony. Temperance. Your second message is temptation. Power, sexuality, indulgence, obsession. Temptation, traditionally known as the devil in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, is a card that many of us are afraid to encounter. We see visions of a large, looming, and evil creature that somehow is to blame for all of our problems or bad experiences. The devil is why we overindulge and make bad decisions. It's the voice behind the extremism in our lives. However, the concept of a devil doesn't exist in most African traditional religion. Instead, humans and deities alike choose whether to navigate the world from a negative or positive disposition. Similarly, temptation can never push us to do anything that isn't already in our hearts. The chains we bear are an illusion. We are only bound by the kaleidoscope of play we conjure in our mind to feed our addictions to substance, people, and situations. The peace that sits at temptation's heart is reminiscent of a crowfish. As the crowfish grows, it molts, shedding the exoskeleton it has outgrown and replacing it with a new one. Temptation teaches us that, just like the crowfish, we have the power to cast off behaviors and situations that no longer serve our growth. We become vulnerable and exposed, yet there is no better time to face the shadow head on. This shadow is oftentimes a part of our inner child that still needs healing. The cycle of self-sabotage to the shadow is a way of protecting what is familiar, even if it isn't for the best. Healing and reassuring this aspect of ourselves will enable us to outgrow our past and let it finally fall away, just as the crowfish sheds its exoskeleton. The crowfish may even eat the shedded exoskeleton, merging the truth of its previous existence with its present mature state. Temptation will show you what your instincts are truly made of. It isn't always easy to see ourselves with such clarity, so temptation challenges us until we realize the chain is ours to remove at any time. Temptation has already taught us the way of moderation, so we must use that as a guide to gauge how deeply we engage in an excessiveness with temptation. This card may also bring to light the way we take ourselves too seriously and where we need to allow a bit of fun and pleasure in our lives. Temptation. Temperance and temptation. I hope you have enjoyed my messages. Bye.